Hello, welcome back to Smith Farm and Outdoors. We've got a new video for you today. It's been a while since we've done one. We're going to do a side-by-side comparison of the Ruger Wrangler and the Heritage Barkeep. Okay, the Ruger Wrangler and Heritage Barkeep. Now, Heritage makes a full-size pistol, but I just so happen to have a short barrel version. I'm going to do a comparison between the two manufacturers and two different sizes of pistols. All right, let's open these things up and see what comes in the box. Packaging, of course, you got all your documents, safety lock, inside this bag I have a single action revolver. To take the cylinder out, to remove this, we're going to push this button and then slide this pin out. Open the gate, and that drops out to the right. And take this out. And let's see what's in the Barkeep box. The box is smaller. Of course, the pistol is smaller. You got the instruction manual, paperwork, lock, a tool, pistol itself, a tag on the trigger guard. Let's go ahead and remove that. This one takes down exactly the same way as the Ruger Wrangler. Push this pin and take this out. Open the gate, slide this cylinder out. Now what is this thing? There is a difference between the Ruger Wrangler and this pistol that is obvious. The Ruger Wrangler has an ejection rod to empty the cylinder built into the barrel because it's long enough. This barrel is not long enough to have that mechanism, so it comes with a manual pin to push the spent cartridges out. That is the main difference between these pistols, and that's a pretty big difference. Models come with a manual safety. This is safe and this is fire. There is a half-cut pin, and when it goes in safety, it blocks the hammer from dropping. This also comes with a warning to carry this particular gun on an empty cylinder. So if we had ammo in these cylinders, they advise you to keep one empty in front of the firing pin because of safety issues. What that means to me is that if this is in the fire position and this hammer is down, that if this gets knocked, it can push the firing pin into a round and it'll go off while you're carrying it, or if you just drop this pistol on the ground, or if you hit it. So keep that in mind. The Ruger Wrangler, however, does not have a manual safety. What it has, when you cock back the hammer, it has a transfer rod that goes up in front of the firing pin for the hammer to hit. And there's a cutout on the hammer to fit the transfer. So without the trigger being pulled, this transfer will not stay in place. It is a more safe way of carrying. That way, if you drop this, hit it on something, get it tangled up, drop it on the ground, there's no danger of it going off. Thus no need for a manual safety. So the Ruger safety design is better. There's no warning on this gun to carry it on an empty cylinder. Talk about the cylinders for a second. This is the cylinder for the Heritage. This is the cylinder for the Ruger Wrangler. The Ruger Wrangler cylinder will not fit inside the Heritage. The Heritage will not fit inside the Ruger Wrangler. The Wrangler's center machining will not fit inside the frame of the Heritage. The cylinder itself from the Heritage will not fit in front of the forcing cone of the Wrangler. So these are definitely not compatible. Push this pin, let that go in. One note is that while revolvers typically have between 6 and 8 rounds, both of these guns have 6 rounds, and they do take some time to reload. You have to open this cylinder gate and then extract each round, rotate, extract, or with the Heritage you take the little pin and push them out. This does take some time, so this is not the most fun gun to plink with if your goal is to go through a lot of ammo very quickly. To shoot a lot of ammo quickly, you'd be more interested in shooting a semi-automatic like this Smith & Wesson or any other semi-automatics. They typically have 10-round magazines. You drop the magazine, load, continue shooting. You get a lot of rounds pretty quickly. The drawback to a semi-automatic like this versus this is ammo selection. If you've got 22 shorts, for example, these little things will not cycle in a semi-automatic pistol, and they won't cycle in most 22 rifles. You can only shoot these in 22 bolt actions and some target rifles that can cycle 22 shorts, a lot of the older Marlins, things like that. 22 subsonics, match grade 42 grain subsonics. Subsonics typically don't have enough energy to cycle a semi-automatic pistol. A lot of them you can put a lighter spring in and run a suppressor with it and it'll cycle some pistols, but no problem shooting this in a revolver. Also, 22 shot shells. These shot shells for pest control, like mice, rats, snakes, things like that, you can not cycle these in most semi-automatics. They will jam. Also, the little plastic case on the end might break. You can shoot these just fine in a revolver or bolt action rifle. Okay, now that we've looked at the basic operation and differences of these two pistols, we're going to take them out to the range and just see how well they shoot compared to one another. With this one having a lot longer barrel than this one. At the ranges I typically shoot a 22 pistol at, 7 to 15 yards. I don't expect much difference, but we will find out. We're going to go ahead and load both up with 6 rounds of 22 long rifle and just hit some steel at about 7 yards and see how they both perform. Both of them, loading gates. The loading gate on the Ruger Wrangler is a lot more stiff than this one. Opens and closes very easily. That could be a good or a bad thing, but it's worth noting. A lot more force needed to open the Ruger Wrangler. One thing about the Ruger Wrangler, when you open the gate, the cylinder will spin. When you open the gate on the Heritage, it will not spin. Like most single actions, you have to pull the hammer back to half cock position before the cylinder will spin. This one is on safety. Let's load this one. The hammer is not pulled back. Like I said, it does not have a half cock position. We got our hearing protection in. I got 6 rounds of bulk pack 22 long rifle, and we're at 7 yards. I'm going to hit steel plates and see how accurate this pistol is. That's our 6th round. The Heritage, when I hold the grip, the wooden grip seems like it needs to be filed down a little more, sanded. It's kind of a bit of a jagged edge right here, for my hand at least. Getting it off safe. Shot over on the second one. Misfire. I have had some problems with this ammo. It did fire on the second hit. So I had a light primer strike on that first time, on the second round. I shot over the target on one, seems to be fine on the rest, at 7 yards. I'm going to do the same thing from 15 yards and see how I unload these now. So open the gate on the Ruger Wrangler, align the cylinder, and press this button. Empty case drops out. Now this gun is empty. This one, I conveniently left the rod at the house. It's not on the range with me. So in order to unload this one, the loading gate, the spent shells won't drop. I'm going to push this, pull the cylinder pin out, take this. You can use this to unload the cylinder with in a pinch, just in case you forget the other rod or don't want to use it. Now we're back together. All right, so I've got the Ruger Wrangler loaded. I'm at 15 yards on those 8-inch steel plates. Now I'm going to use the Heritage. Safety. That's one annoyance. Try again. I'm having to aim a little low at 15 yards, aiming at the bottom edge of the target. Having a little bit of light primer strikes. I don't know if it's the ammo or just the firing pin is not hitting good, but never been lubed from the factory, so I'm going to lube this and we'll see how it works later. But as you can see, the one issue that I did have was not realizing it was on safe. Trying to fire it won't work at all. So this time we're going to shoot 6 rounds of the 22 shorts by CCI, and these are subsonic low noise. Cylinder will not rotate. Half cock, now the cylinder will rotate. Just opening the gate releases the cylinder on this one. You do not have to put it in half cock position. The loading gate on the Heritage is larger, slightly larger. It's easier to get your finger in there, in my opinion. For the subsonic shorts, I'm going to shoot from the 7-yard spot. A lot less noise. A lot less noise, you can hardly feel it. With this CCI ammo, no issues with light strikes. Everything was on target with both guns at 7 yards with the subsonic. I'd like to see what kind of a grouping I can actually get on paper with either of these guns. Now I'm at 7 yards, so let's see what we can do. Starting with the Wrangler, just aim for the center of the paper. Aiming here, this is the group on the side. As you can see, the bullets seem to have went in straight, but they tore here. These went in nicely, but a little bit down and to the left with this group. And as you can see with this gun, these sights are not adjustable. You may could ding this one a little bit and throw off or to correct your aim, but this does shoot a little low and to the left. Stop. We've shot the Wrangler, now we're going to shoot the Heritage and see how it is different. Take it off safety. Misfire. Misfire. Now, we've got one round that did not go off, but point of aim and group with 5 rounds. Compared to the Ruger, six rounds with each. We had some misfire with the Heritage. We shot every round with the Ruger, but the point of aim is a lot different. They seem to be both pulling to the left, but the group size is smaller with the Heritage, even with the shorter barrel, which I did not expect. That's the results. Now, while we're still on camera, I want to take out the cylinder. I want to look at these rounds that misfired. Well, one fired on the second time around, but this round never fired after 2 primer strikes. I'd like to dispel any issues with the gun. Can you see this? Can you zoom in on that? Looks like we've got an adequate primer strike on this round. This could just be the ammo. But if this gun is not hitting the primer hard enough, that could be a problem with the gun itself. I'm going to turn this round so it gets a different spot on the round. Put it back in the gun. Help if I put it in the right end. This cylinder does not want to go in easy if you don't have it in half cock position. Okay, let's see about one more round and see if it'll fire now. It did fire once I rotated the round and got a fresh spot. So I'm thinking we've got some primer issues with that ammo. That's some Federal white box bulk ammo. So that stuff happens occasionally. It did shoot the CCI just fine. Maybe a bit better priming on the CCI ammo. Compare these two, they both have pros and cons. The cons of the Heritage, in my opinion, we did have some light primer strikes. I don't know if that was to do with the ammo or just the hammer. The hammer spring seems a bit lighter on the Heritage than it is with the Ruger. I'd say you probably got a couple extra pounds of spring pressure on the Wrangler over the Heritage. I don't have any way of measuring it, but it just seems a lot lighter on the Heritage. Another drawback of the Heritage is this manual safety, in my opinion. If you need to pull it out real quick and take a shot and you go, oh man, you got to put it on fire again and take a second shot. So that manual safety will really get you there. This little thing doesn't have the shell ejector, although the full-size barrel versions of this same pistol do. So if you get one of these, just know that the reloading process is going to take a little longer than one with a longer barrel. But benefit of this is if you really like a single action gun, this is more of a pocket-sized gun, or you can keep under the counter. And with that shorter barrel, it's easier to manipulate. With this gun also, you can get a different style metal piece here, and you can get the parrot beak. It's more rounded, more comfortable grip. You can take this wider grip off. So you've got some parts you can interchange here and make this pistol a custom. Also, there are quite a few aftermarket grips you can get for this. Plastic, wood, a lot of different ones. So there's actually quite a few accessories you can get for these. And I say aftermarket, but Heritage even supplies a lot of different style grips for these. With the Ruger Wrangler, some of the benefits that I've got is it is simple. It's not flashy. These come in 3 colors that I know of. There's a bronze, a silver, and a black, but they're all Cerakoted. So they're very rugged. That's going to help with any rusting issues like that. So it is a bit harder to pull back a hammer on this thing, but it is built very solid. No complaints with the quality. I think the only thing I would have an issue with is this lever here is plastic, the unloading lever. I don't know if you might drop this gun, if that might break, but it would be nice to have an aluminum, at least, lever here instead of plastic. The fact that it does not have a manual safety and you have to have the trigger pulled in order for this to go off, I really like the built-in safety for this. The loading gate is a bit small compared to the Heritage, and it's harder to open, but at the same time, I don't see it accidentally opening like the one on the Heritage. They're both accurate enough, regardless of the barrel length. I don't think we have any issues there either. They both will shoot subsonics, both will shoot shot shells, both will shoot shorts, longs, long rifle, a full variety of 22 ammo. Now, where does the Heritage have a benefit over the Ruger Wrangler? This cylinder is interchangeable on the Heritage. You can get a 22 Magnum cylinder and put in this gun. Just pull this cylinder out, drop a 22 Magnum cylinder in, load it with 22 Magnums, and now you've got a whole other caliber of ammo you can shoot in this same pistol. So that is a big plus for this gun. Price range, this one runs about $200 to $230. This one is going to run about $150 to $175. Now the longer barrel versions of the Heritage are going to start about $129 to $149. So slightly more money invested in the Ruger, but still $200 range or less for both, or either one of these. So it's all up to preference, really, because money's not a deciding factor for me for owning either one of these. All right, so I hope you enjoyed my short little video, and I'm glad to be back. It's been months, literally months, since we've made any videos, but I'm happy to put a new one out for you. Y'all have a good day.